Borchetta signed Swift to his fledgling Big Machine label, and her first single, Tim McGraw, inspired by and prominently referencing a song by Swift's favorite country artist, was released in the summer of 2006. Debut album and Fearless. Taylor Swift. The song was an immediate success, spending 8 months on the Billboard Country Singles Chart. Now age 16, Swift followed with a self-titled debut album, and she went on tour, opening for Rascal Flatts. Taylor Swift was certified platinum in 2007, having sold more than 1 million copies in the United States, and Swift continued a rigorous touring schedule, opening for artists such as George Strait, Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. That November, Swift received the Horizon Award for Best New Artist from the Country Music Association, CMA, capping the year in which she emerged as country music's most visible young star. On Swift's second album, Fearless 2008, she demonstrated a refined pop sensibility, managing to court the mainstream pop audience without losing sight of her country roots. With sales of more than 500,000 copies in its first week, Fearless opened at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. It ultimately spent more time atop that chart than any other album released that decade. Singles such as You Belong With Me and Love Story were popular in the digital market as well, the latter accounting for more than 4 million paid downloads. Kanye West Incident at the VMAs, Red, and 1989. Taylor Swift. In 2009, Swift embarked on her first tour as a headliner, playing to sold-out venues across North America. That year also saw Swift dominate the industry award circuit. Fearless was recognized as Album of the Year by the Academy of Country Music in April, and she topped the Best Female Video category for You Belong With Me at the MTV Video Music Awards (VMAs) in September. During her VMA acceptance speech, Swift was interrupted by rapper Kanye West, who protested that the award should have gone to Beyoncé for what he called one of the best videos of all time. Later in the program, when Beyoncé was accepting the award for Video of the Year, she invited Swift on stage to conclude her speech, a move that drew a standing ovation for both performers. At the CMA Awards that November, Swift won all 4 categories in which she was nominated. Her recognition as CMA Entertainer of the Year made her the youngest ever winner of that award, as well as the first female solo artist to win since 1999. She began 2010 with an impressive showing at the Grammy Awards, where she collected 4 honors, including Best Country Song, Best Country Album, and the top prize of Album of the Year. Later that year, Swift made her feature film debut in the romantic comedy Valentine's Day and was named the new spokesperson for CoverGirl Cosmetics. Although Swift avoided discussing her personal life in interviews, she was surprisingly frank in her music. Her third album, Speak Now 2010, was littered with allusions to romantic relationships with John Mayer, Joe Jonas of the Jonas Brothers, and Twilight series actor Taylor Lautner. Swift reclaimed the CMA Entertainer of the Year award in 2011, and the following year she won Grammys for Best Country Solo Performance and Best Country Song for Mean, a single from Speak Now. Taylor Swift. Swift continued her acting career with a voice role in the animated Drive. Seuss's The Lorax 2012 before releasing her next collection of songs, Red 2012. While she remained focused on the vagaries of young love, her songwriting reflected a deepened perspective on the subject, and much of the album embraced a bold pop-rock sound. In its first week on sale in the United States, Red sold 1.2 million copies, the highest one-week total in 10 years. In addition, its lead single, the gleeful We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, gave Swift her first #1 hit on the Billboard Pop Singles chart. In 2014, Swift released 1989, an album titled after the year of her birth and reportedly inspired by the music of that era. Although Swift had already been steadily moving away from the traditional country signifiers that marked her early work, I Knew You Were Trouble, the second single from Red, even flirted with electronic dance music. She called 1989 her first official pop album. On the strength of the upbeat Shake It Off, the album proved to be another blockbuster for Swift, with its first week sales surpassing those of Red. It went on to sell more than 5 million copies in the United States and earned Swift her second Grammy for Album of the Year. In 2014, Swift also appeared in a supporting role in The Giver, a film adaptation of Lois Lowry's dystopian novel for young readers. Michael Ray. Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, and Controversies. Taylor Swift. In 2016, Swift's feud with Kanye West resumed after he released the single, Famous. The song included a lyric in which Swift was referred to as a bitch, and she alleged that it was misogynistic. The public spat escalated after West's wife, Kim Kardashian, released a recording of a phone call in which Swift gave her approval for the line, though West made no mention of calling her a bitch. Swift's controversies continued as she took part in a widely publicized civil trial in August 2017, after former radio host David Mueller sued the singer, her mother, and a promoter, claiming that Swift had falsely accused him of sexually groping her in 2013 during the taking of a photograph and thus destroyed his career. She countersued, maintaining that the assault had taken place. At the trial, Swift was removed from Mueller's suit and the other two defendants were found not liable as the jury found in favor of Swift's countersuit. Shortly thereafter, Swift released the hit song, Look What You Made Me Do, and her album Reputation became the top-selling American LP of 2017. In 2018, Swift left Big Machine and signed with Republic Records and Universal Music Group. The following year, her former label, which owned the master recordings of her 6 albums, was sold to Scooter Braun, a talent manager whose clients had included Kanye West. Swift publicly spoke out against the deal, claiming that Borchetta had rejected her attempts to acquire the master tapes and that Braun had bullied her over the years. She subsequently tried to negotiate a deal with Braun, but he sold her back catalog to a private investment firm in 2020. Against this backdrop, Swift began re-recording her early material in an effort to gain control of it, the hope being that her remade songs and not the originals would be sought out for licensing deals, and in 2021 Fearless, Taylor's version, and Red, Taylor's version, appeared. They were remakes of earlier albums with several previously unreleased tracks. Taylor Swift. In 2019, Swift released her 7th album, Lover, which she described as a love letter to love itself. That year she also appeared in the musical Cats, a film adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's hugely successful stage production. Miss Americana, 2020, is a documentary about her life and career. With little advance notice, she released Folklore in 2020. A departure from her previous pop-inspired work, Swift's 8th studio album drew praise for its introspection and restraint, and it won the Grammy for Album of the Year. The sister record, Evermore, appeared later in 2020. Swift adopted a synth-pop sound for the Candid Midnights 2022, which she described as the story of 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout my life.